Dear students, in this video tutorial, let's learn how to develop a C program to find the factorial of a number. The user will enter one number and we have to develop a C program to find the factorial of that number. Let us consider that user has entered a number 5 and the variable n will store that number. As far as definition of factorial goes, the factorial of 5 can be obtained by multiplication of 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. If you carefully observe that even the factorial of 5 is found, the multiplication is done only 4 times. But in our case, in order to simplify the logic, we will multiply 5 times. In other words, instead of multiplying 1 by 2 in first step, we will multiply 1 with the first number in first step. So 1 is multiplied with the first number, that is 1, and the result is 1. So the answer of first step is 1. In the second step, this 1 is multiplied with the second number. So 1 into 2 is 2. In the third step, this 2 is multiplied with the third number. So 2 into 3 is 6. In the fourth step, this 6 is multiplied with the fourth number, that is 4. So 6 into 4 comes to be 24. And in fifth step, this 24 is multiplied with the fifth number, which is 5. So 24 into 5 is equal to 120. Now, what logic that we can conclude from this process? That repetitive multiplication is performed in order to find the factorial of a number. And how many times the multiplication is performed? 5 times the multiplication is performed. So we will take a loop counter and that loop will get executed from 5 times because the number entered by user is 5. Or in other words, we can say that the loop will get executed for n times. If user enters the number 7, then the loop will enter for 7 times and it will start executing from 1. This statement has something, every statement has something common, that the result of previous case is taken as one of the operand in the next statement. So we can write a statement that fact is equal to fact into r. So that fact on the right hand side will be this. And after multiplication, it will generate a result, which is again the fact. And finally, after doing the multiplication for n times, we will get the result. In our case, the multiplication is done 5 times. So the result obtained is 120. Let us develop the program. First, include the header file stdio.h. This header file will store the definition of scanf and printf functions, which we will use in our program. Next step is include one more header file, which is conio.h, or in other words, it is console input output.h. It store the definition of the functions like get ch and clr scr. Start with the main function. The first step in every C program is declaration of variable. Now, how many variables that we are going to require? We will require one counter. We will require one variable for storing the number entered by the user, and we will require one variable for storing the answer. So 3 variables are declared. The n variable will store the number entered by the user, I is the loop counter, and fact variable will store the result. And this fact is written inside the for. And initially, as we are starting with the multiplication of first number by 1, so fact is initialized with the value 1. Next statement is printf statement, which will print enter the number. User is going to enter the number through keyboard. We will require a scanf function. The scanf is written with %d as a format specifier because the number to be taken from the user is of type integer. So %d is written. And where to store that entered number? It is to be stored in a variable n. So it is followed by ampersand n. So the number entered by the user will be stored in a variable n. Now let us assume that user has entered the number, say 5. So I will write 5 here. The value of n is 5. Let us write the for loop. We know that in for loop there are 3 different things written. First is loop counter is initialized with the first value, and in factorial the first number is obviously 1, so I is initialized 1. How many times you want to execute the loop? That condition is written here. I want to execute the loop for 5 times because I have assumed here that the user has entered the number 5. If user has entered the number 7, then the loop will be executed for 7 times. So the condition is written as I less than equal to 1. So as long as the value of I is less than equal to n, the loop will be executed. And once the loop is executed, the value of I will get incremented for next iteration, for next step. The body of for loop is written with the statement fact is equal to fact into I, and then the for loop is closed. Now let us understand how the program gets executed. So once the I value is initialized with 1, then it will come here and it will check whether I is less than equal to 5. In other words, whether 1 is less than equal to 5, because n is equal to 5. So is 1 less than equal to 5? Yes. The condition is true. It will come here. And what is written here? Fact is equal to fact into I. So what is the value of fact? Initially, fact variable is initialized with 1. So fact is equal to 1. What is the value of I? It is also 1. So 1 into 1 multiplication is performed and the result is also 1 and it is stored in the variable fact. So new value of fact is 1. The loop is ends here. So from here it will go to this statement where the value of I is incremented by 1. Initially I was 1. Now it is incremented by 1. So the value of I is now 2. And as value of I change, it will again check whether that value is less than or equal to 5. So is 2 less than equal to 5? Yes. So the condition is true. It will come inside the body of for loop and the statement fact is equal to fact into I gets executed. So what is the value of fact? It is 1. What is the value of I? It is 2. So 1 into 2 multiplication is performed and the result is 2. So the loop is executed for second time. This will terminate, the closing bracket of the loop. So from closing bracket, it will go to the I plus plus. So value of I was 2. Now it will get incremented by 1 and it will become 3. So the new value of I is 3. So as value of I is changed, again it will check the condition. Is 3 less than equal to n? That is 3 less than equal to 5? Yes. Condition is true. It will again execute the statement written inside the bracket, which is fact into I. Fact is 2. 2 is multiplied by value of I, which is 3. So 2 into 3 comes to be 6. So this is the new value of fact. Again it will come here. The value of I is incremented. So from 3, the I becomes 4. Condition is checked. Is 4 less than equal to 5? Yes, it is. So as condition is true, this statement is executed for 4 times. So value of fact is 6. The value of I is 4. So 6 into 4 comes to be 24. So new value of fact is 24. And the program comes to the closing bracket. Again it will go here and it will increment the loop counter value by 1. Initially it was 5. So now it becomes 5. It was 4. Now it becomes 5. And once the value is incremented, it will check the condition. Is value of I, that is 5 less than equal to 5? 5 is not less than equal to 5, but 5 is equal to 5. So the condition is true one more time. The body of for loop will get executed. That is fact is multiplied by I. Fact is 24. The value of I is 5. So 24 into 5. It comes to be 120. So new value of fact is 120. It comes to the closing brace. Again it will go to I plus plus and the value of I is incremented by 1. So from 5 the I value becomes 6 and it is checked whether I is less than equal to n or whether 6 is less than equal to 5. 6 is not less than 5 or 6 is not equal to 5. So the condition becomes false. And as the condition is false, it will not go inside the body of the loop, but it will come or it will come out of the for loop. Here is the result. the result 120, it is in a variable fact. So we will write the statement printf, the factorial of a number is percentage d. And what is percentage d? Percentage d is replaced with the value of fact. So value of fact is 120. So the result will be factorial of a number is 120. We have discussed here for the value of 5. You can enter any number and this same program will work for all integer number. The last instruction, last statement is getCH, which will hold the output on string, and the main loop is the main function is closed by writing the closing bracket. Now let's actually run the program on Turbo C. So the program is already typed in a Turbo C. You can view the program, that whatever the program that was discussed earlier, that same program I have typed here. Now it's time to save the program. So save the program first, then compile the program. You can compile the program by pressing Alt F9 key also. Now check whether your program has got any errors or not. Fortunately, the program is error free. Press enter and then run the program. So program can be run by pressing Ctrl F9. The prompt message enter the number appears. Now let us enter the number 5 and press enter. So the factorial of the number is 125. The same value which we have just taken, we have verified that the program works perfectly fine. I will run the program for one more time. So compile it. If you have not changed the program, then there is no need to compile also. You can directly run the program. Now say I will enter the number 4. The factorial of the number 4 is 24 because 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 comes to be 24. So this verifies that the factorial program which we have just developed is working perfect. Thank you very much.